Tier 2 radios. They are not compatible in any way to the normal DMR radios for multiple reasons. A, the time slots. B, the bandwidth, the channel bandwidth, and C, the codec. We call it an experimental system because we are pulling our hair out right now with it. And I was about to throw my handheld out more than one time. Some people asked me, can you sell me or recommend me one? I said no. I have it on my booth and I really don't want to sell it right now.
Is this the PMR that's mostly, is that the PMR 446 that's like CE in Europe? Is that?
Yes, but the digital version of it. It's not FM, it's digital.
Okay, so it's PMR and then it went to digital and it's still in the 446? Or?
So, well, we are, no. You get it both for 446 and you get it in the handheld.
But is it used in the US at all? Or?
I think, haben wir eigentlich Benutzer von dem Ding in Amerika?
Wenige.
Very few.
Weil die müssen ja immer vom gleichen Hersteller die Geräte haben.
Ja, genau. The issue that you have is that these Chinese manufacturers circumvented the license cost issue with DVSI, the manufacturer of the MB chip, by using an MB chip that they developed at, I think, the University of Shanghai, right? Isn't that a surprise? Well, anyway, and it's called, the one is really misleading, and I stumbled over that. It's called MB2 C plus or something like that, and you think it's a DVSI chip. No, it's not, and it's not compatible. So they use the same name for their own codec, which is not compatible. Now it's getting worse. Every manufacturer has his own version of an MB chip. If you think that is not bad enough, listen to this. When they started testing it, they said, okay, let's just take the same radio on both ends. Hopefully they are compatible. It didn't work either, because they were not on the same frequency. Now, that means if I'm in Germany and you are in the US and I talk to you and we have the same handset from the same manufacturer, we are not on the same frequency, it won't work. You will say, Uli, this is silly, you know, it goes over the internet, it doesn't go over the air. Well, guess what? They transmit your frequency in the data stream, and if it's not on the same channel, it doesn't open the squelch. And by accident, somebody stumbled over that, and suddenly it worked. Now, Torsten's proposal was to overcome that is that we use different rooms for different manufacturers, so that you have, let's say, the Kaidera in one room and the, I don't know, whoever. What's the other? No, what's the other? What do we have in Germany? There is a dust. Vitavis. Yeah. So basically, if the users of the same company stay in the same room, you might be lucky. What also works is the echo, because it's your own signal. So that's why we call it experimental. We don't want to get bad comments because we have that strange situation, but we can do it. Now what we also have is for fusion a reflector system, or two reflector systems at this point in time. It's a little bit too small. I don't know whether I can. This is. No, I tried to focus. Yeah, better focus it. Okay, that improved it a little bit. And the way we set it up right now is we have 100 rooms, and it's basically the 50 states, plus a talk 1 and talk 2. And then what you don't see, we added Canada in French and in English. And we have some special rooms. So if you guys have a local ARIS group, racist group, where you think, you know, it might make sense and you want to do it in Fusion, just send me an email. And it's basically for us just a table entry, and then you have a room for the Fusion that we can add to it. Same thing for EPCO 25. Right now there is only a server in Europe. We have a gentleman now in Los Angeles who is running P25 systems in California and on Hawaii. And he also owns this IT center, which is great, and he gave us a server which is in a secured, it's a government facility, where we can co-host now a P25 server. So we have one in the US in a few weeks. I don't know how long do you think, 2-3 weeks? Yeah, in 2-3 weeks we can probably, when you go in P25, you will see another P25 server, and it will be located in the United States, which is always preferable when the internet goes down to Europe or so. A question that comes up often is, well, I'm on Motorola and you guys have a Hytera system, how can we interconnect it? And until this morning, 7 o'clock, the answer was this. It's a moving target. You use an M-bridge, and that's you can download it from the Swiss website, the hamdmr.lub. And if you don't have that website, come to our booth. We made a stamp. We can put it on a piece of paper so you don't forget it, or we can stamp it on the back side of your hand. Just don't wash yourself until you come home. It's a good excuse, you know, when you don't smell good and come home and say, well, I couldn't, honey, so I have that stamp here, you know. The way it was implemented in Germany with the first implementations was with the M-bridge was that there was an interconnection on time slot 2. So basically the Motorola guys had their time slot 1 for themselves, but the time slot 2 was shared with a DMR Plus system. It was the implementation now. This morning something changed. Hans-Jürgen, who is doing this, did you program that thing or Hans-Jürgen? You did. But Hans-Jürgen talked to the Motorola guys, or no, the C-Bridge guys, the operators of the C-Bridge. The C-Bridge is the interconnection vehicle in the United States between the Motorola repeaters. And they agreed this morning that we can directly connect our dongles to the C-Bridges in Motorola. So that gives us a far better access into the Motorola world. There have been negotiations for a while, and when you're the new kid on the block, you know, everybody's, I don't want to have anything to do with you, but, you know, they see that we are doing a good thing here, and so we have that. And how will that show up for the DV4Mini? It will be available in 2 weeks. Und wie? Wie sieht es aus?
Genauso wie jetzt. Also nein. Man wählt einfach die C-Bridge aus bei den Mastern.
Oh, the C-bridges will be show up in the master list on the extended. We're going to extend the tab. You have the DMR master list, and you will also be able to select the C-bridges, which then connect to the Motorola repeaters. Richtig?
Ja, nur für amerikanische Programme.
However, if some of you guys have a stick from Europe, a green one or a blue one, it will not work. The agreement is only valid for American sticks. And that's we also have a MAC address in there, and we know who owns that stick with a MAC address. So the agreement is only valid for the American market. It doesn't work with a green or blue stick. They don't want that. It's different from HF, it's very political. Now, hardware. I think the DV4Mini is a nice device, you know. We can do all modes. And I got my IC80 and I got now my Kytera. You might have a Hytera or Tytera or whatever you got. And when we are done with all the modes, the manufacturers of these phones will be the right guy, and we will be the left guy. My wife still doesn't allow me to get a Fusion radio. I'll get one before I leave here. I'll get one. Anyway. So buy more minis, so maybe my chances, you know, improve. Now, obviously, that's a stupid approach. It's like, you know, if you have a single sideband radio for the upper sideband, you buy that from ICOM, and for the lower sideband, you buy it from Kenwood. You know, it's obviously a stupid approach. So Thorsten thought up, you know, how can we change that? And really the idea was, and that story goes really back 10 years. Thorsten has been working on this for a long time, and he wanted to make the amateur radio community independent from being taken hostage from the large mostly three manufacturers here. And when did you do the DVR PTR1? Wann hast du das gemacht, da außen? He forgot. It's too long ago. That was the first digital voice repeater board. That's what DVR PTR stands for. And these radios, just you can take any of these. These are not radios. These modems. You can just take any boat anchor FM repeater, and we used, I think, anything on the market. Down there in Collier County, we have Motorola. We took ICOM. We took Kenwood. You just go and connect this to the discriminator and to the modulator, and you have a D-Star repeater station. DVR PTR1 was the first. Worked pretty well. Didn't have the sensitivity that he wanted, so he did the DVR PTR2, which samples the incoming signal at a higher rate. So it's that one was then better than the ICOM stack, sensitivity-wise. But everybody complained that the little screen was so small that you couldn't read it. So he did the DVR PTR3, which most of the code came into the DV4, and that's how they name. That's why it's called DV4. It's the fourth generation of something that has been developed over the last 10 years. So it's a very stable code base. Now the DVR PTR3, I still have one at home and use it for D-Star. You know, we were considering it. You know, there are some boards left of the two, whether we make it a DMR one to generate large, you know, for turn old boat anchor FM repeaters into a DMR repeater for very little money. Just a thought right now. So what Thorsten then did, he basically took the chip, the same microcontroller, put it on a stick, and added the transceiver chip for UHF. What do you think the most important, the most expensive component was on the DVR PTR3? The box. The box was $100. The most expensive thing was the least functional one. So the idea was, forget about it. Let's put it in this case. We still have problems with the cases that disappear in the U.S. mail system, but that's a different story.
Picture time.
Thank you. The DV4 is the first device in a series of devices that we will come out with this year. Obviously, it would be nice to have an MB chip in there. Obviously, it would be nice to have a mobile radio. These are things that Thorsten is working on with the other developers right now. There is stuff working on the bench that just didn't fit in the box yet. We found boxes that look beautiful, but they don't fit the boards. And that is being done yet. It's being beta tested. In Dayton, we will have 2, maybe 3 more products that we can announce. So that was my presentation. Any questions?
Where's your booth?
Here. I anticipated the question. Any other questions?
So, Lee, what are you running down there in Naples now? Everything? What mode?
No, we are dead behind. You know, we have only D-Star, and we want to do a DMR now. No, we have a Fusion. I forgot about that, but the damn thing works on 2 meters, and it doesn't work together with a DV4Mini. I'm trying to massage Thorsten into just making me one. I only need one. He says the problem is if I give you one, then everybody else finds out and wants one. And the problem is with the coils, with the ferrites and everything, they are too big on 2 meters to fit in the case. Now, if we need another case, that's $5,000 in tooling, and you have to sell a lot of sticks to you know, for the bigger tool. So that's where we stand right now. Any other questions?
So just to clarify then, I can now buy a DV4 Mini dongle. I can hook it up to my computer and I can access it with my DMR radio.
Yes, sir.
To the U.S. And that happened as of 7 o'clock this morning because of what you guys.
No. You could do it in the U.S. before, but you have to see in the DMR world, and we are just talking DMR. That doesn't apply to D-Star, sir. Just in the DMR world, you have two main competing companies in the world. One is Hytera, which was a Rode and Schwarz development to begin with, and now bought Harris, by the way, here in the United States. So all the DMR systems in the U.S. On the first responder side that says Harris, it's Hytera, and the development engineers are Rode and Schwarz guys. That's the one side, and there's the other world. That's the Motorola world. And when Thorsten started this a few years ago, he went to both and said, "Would you work with me?" Motorola guys kicked him out. Hytera guy said, "For a certain fee, we could talk to you." So he paid the fee, a license fee, and so the whole thing started in a cooperation with Hytera. Now the situation now in Germany is that the whole country is covered with Hytera repeaters, and there is barely any Motorola. In the U.S. we have, because of the dominance of Motorola in the U.S. market, the opposite situation, because the DMR Mark Club put out a lot of Hytera of Motorola stuff, which is understandable and it's fine. Now, the Motorola repeaters are interconnected by their own reflector system called C-Bridge, which is not made by Motorola, but by, what's the name of that company?
Redfield.
Redfield. Okay, thank you. And the operators of that network agreed this morning that they let our sticks in the C-Bridge, which interconnect the Motorola system. At that point, we were in the Motorola system. And that's what happened this morning.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good work.
So the connection is open. If you have your
In 2 weeks, it will show up as a DMR master, the C-Bridges.
Really a question for you. In the DMR, with the DV4 Mini, you could go into any DMR repeater that had the Hytera talk group, correct?
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how is that going to be different with your new arrangement as of today? Will it be compatible with other talk groups other than the Hytera talk group?